Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Yes, sir. Super Tuesday, January 31st, which only means one. Oh my God. The madness is coming. February starts tomorrow, people. Today will be the first March Madness breakdown. This is 4 teams right here. I got all the goods, man. All of the juice. Oh, buddy. Usually, for $30, buddy. But for you right now, buddy, $20 cash. Get out of here, buddy. You can take it to $20 cash. Captain by a hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs, going live on this Super Tuesday. I have my NCAA college basketball top 10 rankings according to this guy. Also have 8 games I will break down with 4 bets out of those 8 games on this Super Tuesday. I went to sleep last night. Actually, I passed out. Last thing I remember, it was about 4 or 5 minutes left in the Syracuse-Virginia game. I woke up and it was about a minute left in the first half of the Baylor-Texas game. Went and got my bleep in bed. Iowa State was up like 15 at the time. Woke up to 2 losers. 2 losing bets to start the week. November, December, most of January, I was on fire. Hopefully this little slump I'm in does not stretch into February. And if it does, if there's a God, hopefully it doesn't follow me into March. Before I get into the top 10 and the 8 games with the 4 picks, I am about to do it. The first March Madness breakdown. Probably getting copyrighted. I need to get my own themes here, people. Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs, captain by a hook with the red beard. Let's just jump right into it because who knows how long it's going to take me to read all of this information out to the people and make it make sense in some way or another. These are the first 4 teams. I'm doing the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Also going to do the American Conference, which is Houston and Memphis. I'm gonna get better every Tuesday and Thursday is pretty much gonna be all madness breakdowns, all madness previews, all madness talks. Because the madness is coming. I love it. Favorite time of year. I do these deep dives on my own, so I might as well share them with the people. Might not even give y'all all of this information. I have the record broken down from quad 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I don't really think matters, but I might touch on it. Bunch of stats, statistics, couple of their favorite sets, how you can attack these teams. I will get into all of that. It is a little early to start doing this. However, the way my maths, every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 10 weeks will lead up to March 2nd. Not 10 weeks. Every next 5 weeks, 10 days. I'll be done March 2nd. And then we can go into conference tournament weekend or week, whatever y'all want to call it, championship week. And then Selection Sunday. And then we can retouch some things if we need to. see what's moved and what hasn't. But yeah, Thursday will be the Mountain West Conference and the Ivy League. Next Tuesday will be Pac-12 and Big South. Then next Thursday will be Big East and Big Sky. Then I will do the SEC and the Summit. I'm doing like a big conference, more teams, and then one of these little conferences with just one team, trying to throw them together. I'm trying to do about 4 to 8 teams every Tuesday and Thursday that I do this. After that will be the ACC, which will probably be by itself. Then the Big 12 by itself. Big 10 by itself. And then I have about 12 teams down here at the bottom that would probably just go together. All the little miscellaneous teams. By then, it will be around March 2nd. I'll have a better idea of who will be in, who will be out. Give y'all a more accurate list of the. No point in me telling you everything you need to know about Southern Illinois and they go on a 10-game losing streak and they're not gonna make the tournament. So I'm gonna try and keep it as accurate as possible. These 4 teams I definitely think are in the tournaments. I'll start it off with St. Mary's. One of the best stories in college basketball this season is St. Mary's finally sitting on the throne of the West Coast Conference. After years of battling, I feel like I got a bug in my coffee. After years of battling with Gonzaga, right now they are first in the West Coast Conference, 8-0 in conference play, 19-4 overall record. Quad 1, 1-2, Quad 2, 6-0, Quad 3, 7-2, Quad 4, 4-0. They are led by senior point guard Logan Johnson, Mitchell Saxon, big fella down low, Kyle Bowen, one of those guys that just does it all, from setting screens to getting steals, rebounding, passing. And then their sharp shooting freshman Aiden Mahani. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I've watched this team 1 or 2 times, and what impressed me about their team is their poise. That comes from leadership, one freshman, and then a ton of experience. Like I said, senior Logan Johnson leading. This team, this is kind of the bad thing about this team. 10 turnovers a game to 13 assists per game. I would like that ratio to be spread out a little more. If they can get it down to like 8 turnovers and maybe 14 assists, be a little better of an average. They shoot 46% from the field, 38% from 3, which is both a little above average. 67% free throw shooting, however. Only have one player on the team shooting over 80%. Put a star next to that. This is one of the biggest stats that I pay attention to. You need to hit free throws, especially in the tournament. Honestly, Syracuse last night, perfect example, lost the game at the free throw line. I watched them miss 4 or 5 free throws before I eventually passed out. Woke up, they lost by 5. I'm not saying they would have won with those made free throws, but they would have had a chance. Maybe at a last second shot, or maybe they've been up 1 or 2, and Virginia has to heave up a shot. Free throws, especially in the tournament, they get bigger stage. Kids shrink up a little bit. Also the legs, man. You get to that second game, you're on pure adrenaline sometimes. That's one of the things that worries me about this team is the free throw shooting. Again, there's only one player on this team shooting over 80% from the line. They snag about 36 rebounds a game, which at the pace they play isn't bad. If you just said that for a regular team, it might be bad. But the pace that this team plays at, very slow, very, very slow pace. They're 311th in the nation in pace at 65.4. They do get 7.5 steals a game and 3.5 blocks a game, which is a little above average on the steals. They just, I don't know. They score, surprisingly, with their slow tempo, they score 71 points a game. The opponents average 57 points against them. So they do have a 14-point differential, which I do like. Come tournament time, games will be closer. But if you're beating teams on average by 14 points, you are a pretty good team. Their offensive efficiency is 47th in the nation, and their defensive efficiency, defense wins games, people, is 5th in the nation. They're one of the best rebounding teams on the defensive end. They hold teams to one shot. They're 3rd in allowing offensive rebounds. So you get one shot against this team, and you better get your tail back on defense. They're going to board it, and they're going to bring it down. They guard everywhere on the floor. Opponents only shoot 31% against them from 3. So they guard out. They extend their guards a few steps past the 3-point line. They don't let anybody get a rhythm threes off. They lost 3 in a row late November, and since then have literally been on fire, especially in conference play, on a 10-game winning streak as of now. I believe their next game, I didn't write that down, but I believe their next game is Gonzaga on the 4th. Could be wrong about that. Don't hold me to it. 2 more games left still against Gonzaga. They're projected to win 1 and lose 1, which is crazy. It just shows the level of competition. They have a few go-to sets. They like to do this weird 3 guards kind of like on one side of the floor on the perimeter together. It looks funky, and then they have the other guards spread out in the corner. They do 2 things off of this. One of the favorite things they do, they set a pick and never roll. They set a pick, pretty much get the guard going downhill. Now the lane's open. Nobody's in the lane. He either has one-on-one, get to the hole, or they do collapse. He has a couple shooters to kick it out to. The other thing they like to do out of this set, they'll set the 2 screens, one a roll and one a pop. Pretty efficient, man. Pretty efficient basketball. Again, they have Mitchell Saxon, who is a monster down low when they need to get it to him. They run a pretty basic motion style offense outside of those things. Pass and pick. Pretty fundamental basketball team, man. Again, only really way to attack this team is to not settle for outside jumpers. Try to get it in the paint, because they're going to slow the ball down. They're going to slow the game down. So if you're trying to run, it really don't matter. You could run and put up a shot in 3 seconds. They're going to grab the rebound and walk it up the court and spend 27 seconds passing and picking to get the best shot available. Also, this style of play tires out teams that aren't used to defending for 25, 27 seconds. Especially teams that like to try and run against them, they get tired out very quickly because they're only on offense for 3, 4, 5, 7 seconds. And then they got to turn around and play defense for 25 seconds. And if you do that every time trying to push the tempo up, you're mentally going to get tired. You're like, damn, I feel like we never on offense. We just playing defense all game. Players hate playing defense. Trust me. There are a few dogs that like to play D, but not many. That's St. Mary's, man. I think this team is going to be, I don't think they're going to be too dangerous in the tournament, unfortunately. Free throws and lack of a real go-to guy. Their go-to scorer is a freshman. I can see him going cold in the tournament under the bright lights, or he could drop 60. Who knows? But 60 is kind of stretched. But I see this team being a first or second round exit. My projections. That's only my projections. The projection part is me. All the other stats I get from 4 or 5 different websites, put them together, trying to make them make sense. Right now, this team is a 7th seed, which means it's a pretty tough road as a 7th seed. You got the 10th seed, which is usually just as good as a 7th seed. I can see them being anywhere from a 6 to 11, depending on how they finish off this season. Honestly, it might behoove them to be an 11th seed or lower. 7th seeds usually have a target on their back, which is what they are right now. Again, first round or second round, I see this team. It's going to be a close one. 1 or 2 points under 60 style they play. St. Mary's, I just don't think they're built for the tournament. Moving over to their cross-conference foes, Gonzaga, the Bulldogs. As much as I've been down on Gonzaga because they haven't been winning by 30, they are still putting up an impressive impressive resume. 18-4 in the season, 7-1 in conference play. Right now, they are a 3 seed. I think they'll be anywhere from 2 to 5, depending on how they finish the season. Against quad 1, 2-3. Against quad 2, 6-0. Against quad 3, 3-1. Against quad 4, they are 6-0. 11.5 turnovers to 16.5 assists. Again, I would like for them to get that turnovers under 10. The assists are pretty good though. I like the 17 assists. They're shooting 51.8% from the field, which is just outstanding for them to be getting that higher percentage of shots from the field. A lot of that has to do with the style of offense, which I'll touch on in a second. From the three, they're shooting 38.3%, which is a little above average. Can't go wrong with that percentage, especially if you're shooting in bulk. However, another red flag. I don't know what's going on with free throws, but shooting 69% from the free throw line is unheard of. Drew Timme, their best player, shoots about 59% from the free throw line. So it might be a hack of Timme year in the tournament. I don't know why teams haven't gone to it in the past. 69% free throws is just, it's despicable. On this team, I skipped this line. You have Drew Timme, you have Strother, Bolton, and Watson. They got the Malachi Smith transfer who should have never transferred. I thought he was going to be a dog on Gonzaga. However, I don't know. Disappointing, to say the most. 41 rebounds a game. Pretty average for their style of play. They do, however, get 8 steals a game. And sorry, I don't know why I'm trying to compare stats. Yeah, they get about 8 steals a game and 3 blocks a game. Pretty average. Now this team on offense, they will push the pace. They're 6th in the nation at pace, average 86 points a game. Opponents are averaging 73 points a game against them. Again, on offensive efficiency, they are 2nd in the nation. This is where they're hurt, though. On the defensive side, efficiency-wise, they are 157th in the nation. They are top 50, however, in defensive rebounding, which is pretty darn good. They guard the 3 average. Inside, opponents are shooting 51% against them once they get inside the 3-point line. The guards lock up. Once you penetrate against the guards, they really don't have any big man to stop any penetration. Drew Timme, as great as he is, will never, ever be a great rim protector. He's a pretty good box outer, so he makes up for that on the rebounding side. But he's not going to stop guards from getting to the goal. If they get past the guard on defense, they pretty much got a lane to at least float it or lay it up or get fouled. That's one of the downsides. You can definitely attack this team in transition and attack them by getting to the paint. They do like to push the pace. They will push the pace fast. They have more close games than usual. They've beaten, however, Bama, Kentucky, Xavier, and Michigan State. Some notable wins there for Gonzaga. Like I said, as bad of a season as they're having covering ATS, they are still Gonzaga Bulldogs, baby. Still winning games. Just more close games than usual. Like I said, they push the pace. That's the first thing they do. They look to run. Once they get stopped in transition, they'll just throw it down to Drew Timme in the post, have 2 or 3 guys cut off of him, which kind of usually it helps the double team not come. They'd like to give it to Drew Timme in like the short corner post, like I call it Carmelo Anthony, Kobe Bryant range, just so that they can run other action and the paint's not clogged up. I've seen them a couple times give it to Timme, and that guy, instead of cutting by Timme, will instead of picking about the free throw line, the other guard that's acting like he's cutting, instead of cutting, will just come off that pick for back to the top of the key for the 3 catch and shoot. They are a great catch and shoot team. However, they do cut and slash a little bit more. Sometimes their offense lacks movement, however, they will get stagnant. Watching Drew Timmy go to work in the post against a double team, and like again, as amazing as Drew Timmy is, this season they're missing that second guy who can really step up and take some pressure off of Timmy, take the double team off of Timmy. Like, hate to even bring it up, these are two NBA players, but Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren, you couldn't focus on Drew Timmy 100% of the time. So he got a lot more one-on-one matchups. This season, however, he's getting doubled a lot. He's trying to pass it out. But yeah, I mean, it lacks. I've seen a couple times that they're just watching Drew Timmy and he's just looking at everybody like, all right, guess I'm just going to try to score on this double team. They get stagnant. If they go cold, watch out. I see this team being a second round team. I hate to say it, I don't see them making it to the Sweet 16 this season. Drew Timmy, it breaks my heart to even think of you not making the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, or at least one more powerful, strong run through the tournament. Last season, kind of disappointing as well. I don't really remember where y'all lost. I just remember y'all barely beating Memphis in the second round. And I'm pretty sure y'all lost the Sweet 16 game. I could be wrong. I don't remember last year by heart like that. You're listening to Captain by a Hook with the Red Beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives, breaking down March Madness for the first time. I told y'all. I was going to go into depth in detail on every single team. Those are the first two teams. Right now, I would jump to Memphis and Houston as quickly as possible and then give my top 10 and my picks for the night. These Tuesdays and Thursday shows, by the way, are going to end up being 45 minutes to an hour until March Madness. I just can't go through this stuff any faster. I just spent 22 minutes on two breakdowns of two teams, and I still feel like I could give y'all more. But when the bracket comes out, trust me, like I said, I got plans. That Selection Sunday through the first weekend of the tournament, I am going to hammer y'all with content. More content than y'all ever dreamed of about March Madness. Most of it will probably go on dead ears because it'll be so much, but I'd rather overload y'all with information than just stay stagnant and give you the regular shows and tell y'all to deal with it. Because March Madness, I'm here for two reasons. College hoops and baseball, so I'm going to go hard for March Madness, man. College basketball first. It don't get talked about enough on other gambling shows. It's all about NFL. Even in freaking July, they talk about the NFL more than baseball. Heartbreaking. Moving over to the American League. I'm going to start off with Memphis, and then I'll touch on Houston. Houston will be a little faster of a breakdown because a lot of y'all are familiar with Houston, so it's not going to be as in-depth. But Memphis, I think they're going under the radar. They're a 10 seed right now. I think they can get up to a 7 seed or 8 seed. And I think this team, Memphis team, makes it to the Sweet 16. Just my projections there. Kendrick Davis, absolute beast. He's a monster, I tell you. Monster. As far as he goes, this team goes, he is the type of player that can go off in a tournament and drop 35 with 11 assists and 5 steals and completely take over the game. They also have a kid, DeAndre Williams, and I believe Penny Hardaway's son is a little swing guard on this team that knocks down shots. Memphis 17-5. Like I said, they're going under the radar. They're 7-2 in conference play against Quad 1, 1-2, Quad 2, 5-3, and then against Quad 3 and 4, they are 11-0 combined. 13.3 turnovers per game to 16.3 assists per game. Need to get those turnovers down a little bit, but they do push the pace at a high level. So when you're top 50th in pace, sometimes you get a little sloppy on the break. Outside of Kendrick Davis, they are still a pretty young team. Excuse me. Penny Hardaway last season was not complaining. I don't want to use that word, but he was saying like, look, I got a bunch of 18-year-olds. They're gonna play sloppy sometimes. This year he has Kendrick Davis, senior point guard transfer from SMU, kind of calm the ship, right the ship. And like I said, this kid is phenomenal. Definitely a next level guard. I think can improve on a few things to be productive at the next level, but I think he gets a chance to dance with the big boys in the NBA. This team is shooting 48% from the field, 32, I'll say 33, 32.6% from three. Finally, a team shooting over 70%. I still would like them to improve. 74% from the free throw line. Only 36 rebounds per game. I would like that to get up a little bit. But this is what this team does do well. 9 steals a game, 5 blocks a game. Defensive powerhouse. Turning into transition buckets. Up-tempo pace, like I said, top 50th. They're 49th in the nation in pace, scoring 80 points per game, allowing 72 points per game, 8-point differential. Like I said, Gonzaga struggled with this team last season without Kendrick Davis. If they had Kendrick Davis last year, Gonzaga's losing that game. I guarantee it. Where am I at? 72, 8-point differential. They are 86 when it comes to offensive efficiency and 103rd when it comes to defensive efficiency. So a little more to be desired in the efficiency points. However, this team plays with heart. They play with style, and they have an NBA style offense. They will fast break it every time off a make, off a miss, off a turnover. And out of the fast break, they don't really run a lot of sets. It's kind of like I said, NBA style. He'll come down, try to go one-on-one, switch it, try to go one-on-one, give it to the post. They do run a little motion offense kind of. But it's a lot of just one-on-one. Talented players beating a man, swing it to a shooter, let it fly, don't even think about it. They have a dog down low that can get his work off. When they're rolling, they are unstoppable. They shoot the ball in bulk more than shooting it well. So they're just gonna fire away, try to outrun you, try to beat you that way. You can't attack this team off of misses against them on the break. Like I said, they run and shoot fast. So if you can get it and turn it around back on them fast, you can catch somebody slipping on the defensive transitions. Try to find lanes. If you play fundamental on the break against this team, it's the best way to beat them. Play fast and play fundamental. Fill the lanes, catch and shoot, look for cutters. Get the ball inside. If you're trying to sit there and run half-court sets, again, 9 steals per game and 5 blocks per game, they will play some defense on you, and they'll turn you over. So if you can run it and play fundamental, that's the best way to attack this Memphis team, who, again, I have going to the Sweet 16. Just projections. And there's no bracket out yet for me to say for sure. I mean, this team comes out and plays, I don't know. There's probably 20 teams this team can play in the first round and lose to. So, again, just projections. St. Mary's can go to the Final Four. So, my projection is they lose first or second round. Gonzaga lose second round. Memphis, I think, gets to the Sweet 16. And then the next team I'm about to talk about, Houston, I project them to get to the Final Four. Just projections. I want y'all to understand that. I don't want it to come March and so you just automatically put all your money on Memphis to make it to the Sweet 16, even though the matchups, and I'm telling you, don't do it. Reconsider. But on January 31st, and again, a lot of this stuff will change. This is what it is as of today. I'm telling you what I'd like to see improve. Most of these teams need to get their free throw percentage up, and I'd like to see a few more rebounds a game. But other than that, this is what these teams do. This is what these teams like to do, successful or not. This is how these teams will attack. I told myself I was going to check these teams off so I know that I talked about them. The last team I will talk about today is Houston. Thought about throwing one of them small schools in there, but like I said, Thursday I'm going to come back with the Mount West and the Ivy League. And then next week we'll get into some bleep that y'all want to hear. Houston, they are projected to be a number 1 seed. I think they will be number 1 or 2. Probably number 1 though. They are projected as of right now to win out of their regular season schedule. They're projected to end 29-2. They have 9 games left on the schedule right now. They are 20-2, 8-1 in conference. Against Quad 1, 4-1. Against Quad 2, 5-0. Quad 3, 3-1. And against Quad 4, they are 8-0. I feel like you know this team. But for those who don't, I will do this show like for the people that have never watched a college basketball game in their life can still use this information and have a successful tournament. So Marcus Sasser leads this team. I have a long shot ticket on him being the Wooden Player of the Year award. Doesn't look good. Don't know why I took it, but small amount of money on that. Tremont Mark is my favorite player on this team. Sasser is definitely the beast in the dog, and I love Sasser. But Tremont Mark, just his attitude that he brings to the game, I feel like through the TV watching him, he's saying in his head, this MF can't guard me every time he touches the ball. I love Jamal Sheed as the point guard. And then, of course, you have Walker and Roberts down low. All 5 of these players, phenomenal. All 5 of them guard at a high level. That's what you have to do to get minutes under Calvin Sampson on this U of H team. However, this might be the best offensive team Houston has had in the last 5 or 6 years where they've been going on these runs to the Final Four. Offensively, any one of these guys can give it to you. Any one of these 5 guys can give you 25 on any given night. This is the part that I don't like. 10 turnovers to 14.5 assists. Come on, Houston. Y'all are better than that. They shoot 47% from the field, 36% from 3. Pretty average. Above average from the field, pretty average from the 3. Another team shooting under 70%, 69% from the free throw line. Heartbreaking. I think this is the worst free throw shooting year I've ever seen at the collegiate level. I'll just say that. They get 39 rebounds a game, which is phenomenal for their pace. 8 steals a game and 5 blocks a game. Defensive powerhouse. They have versatile pace, however. If you let them, they'll walk it up and score 55 points and beat you 55-49 and go home happy. However, if you try to push the pace and run with them, they can run with you. These guys are talented. These kids will run. They'll get back on defense and be in position to stop you from running, and they'll push the pace against you if they feel they need to. Their offensive efficiency, y'all ready for this? 4th in the nation on offense of efficiency. Defensive efficiency, 3rd. Top 5 in both offense and defense. Top 4 if you want to get specific. As far as efficiency levels go, 20-point differential. They average 75 points per game, only giving up 55 points per game. Again, they have games where they score 100 and win by 40. They have games where they score 55 and win by 10. This team is very versatile. They can get it to you however you want it. They're 3rd in the nation in offensive rebounding. So even if they miss, they'll make you play defense for another 30 seconds on a regular. Boxing out will be key to even competing with this team. It's holding them to 1 shot and 1 shot only. Their efficiency of shooting isn't the highest, but 3rd in the nation in offensive rebounding gives them an edge. They're 9th in taking care of the basketball. Do not turn this ball over. 9th in the nation in taking care of the basketball. And then on the other end, they're 29th in the nation, top 30 in causing turnovers, forcing you to turn the ball over. So that's really the only way you can beat this team. Don't turn the ball over, box out, force them to one shot. They're smart ball players. They play smart one-on-one basketball. They get good shots. They do play a lot on one-on-one, but they don't force it. If they don't have it, they don't have it. There are some mid-range assassins that crossover, two dribble, pull up around the free throw line area. Whew, deadly, Mike. Tremont Mark and Marcus Sasser are deadly at this. Jamal Sheed has more of a floater game, still deadly. Um, they have zero holes on defense. Zero holes. I repeat, zero holes on defense. Only way you're gonna beat this team, and that's the way Alabama beat them and Temple beat them. You're gonna have to not turn the ball over, box out, and then after you do all of that, you're still gonna have to knock down tough, contested shots, all five positions, and get at it on defense. I definitely see the team going to the Final Four. It'll take another powerhouse full of seniors, I think, to beat this team. Teams that come to mind that I would take over Houston are a short list. UCLA, Alabama. Alabama already beat them, so it's kind of easy on that one. UCLA, I don't know. That game will probably be 48-45. Just in the way they play, style of play. Again, there's so much information here. I'm not really going to repeat anything. Those are my breakdowns for these four teams. You can always rewind it yourself. You can always hit me up on Twitter at Rowan Donaghy. I will answer any questions specifically that you have. Any question, man. You can come at me. What do you think about this? You went over this on the show, but how does that pertain to this? Let's talk some basketball, man. Like I said, February is tomorrow, which means the madness is around the corner. You're listening to Captain by a Hook with the red beard, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives. Thursday, we are doing Mount West, which is San Diego State, New Mexico, Boise State. I would talk about Utah State because I think they're going to make it. Right now, they're not in the tournament. I think Utah State makes the tournament this year, so I will break them down and talk about them. That's like the only team that's might not make it that I will talk about probably. And then in the Ivy League, I will break down Princeton as their lone, what's the word? The lone team that'll make the tournament. I forgot the name of that. The lone bid. They call them bids. Woo! Yeah, so Thursday will be Mount West and Ivy League. And then next Tuesday, we'll get into some big, I don't know the word. Big conferences. Pac-12, Big South, Big East, Big Sky. And then we'll take it from there. I'm not going to read all this again. I read it earlier in the show. Let's get to this top 10 on January 31st. According to this guy, Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dives, you are listening to Captain by a Hook. I'm going to go through this shortly, briefly, and quickly. I've been waiting and waiting for this team to lose a couple games so I can never talk about them again. Kick them out of my top 10 and kick them to the curb. However, they have the best player in college basketball, and they are the best team in college basketball. Give me the Purdue Boilermakers at number 1. At number 2, I didn't move this team at all, or did I? I had them at number 1 last season. Flip-flop these two teams. I'm not too worried about that one loss Alabama got. I still have them as a 2 seed. Alabama at the 2 seed. The Crimson Tide, horrible, poor performance on Saturday. I give every school 1 or 2 of those without judging them a year. These are college kids, man. You never know what's going on through their mind. And then at number 3, and the only reason I couldn't put Houston above Bama, because Bama beat Houston. Sometimes I'm too rational, you know? I mean, if Bama loses 3 in a row, yeah, Houston's above them again. But they both got the same amount of losses. I got to go Bama over Houston. Houston At number 3, I think they're one of the best teams in the nation. At number 4, I had this team at 5 last week. Give me the Virginia Cavaliers, number 4 in the nation. I fall in love with the team more and more as the weeks go by. Um, Virginia is just a powerhouse in the ACC. On November 7th, I gave them to y'all to bet at plus 700. I bet them that day at plus 700 to win the ACC. Feeling good, looking good. At number 5 in the nation, crawling back after having a poor week themselves, give me Arizona. I had them at 6 last week. Give me Arizona at 5. Pac-12 is shiggity shaking up to be a wild one, honestly. There's about 6 or 7 teams that could win it right now. It's really more like 4, but you know what it is. UCLA, who was number 5 last week. No, I had UCLA at number 3 last week. Moved them down to 6 after having a tough stretch where I believe they lost 2 or something. Could be wrong. UCLA moved them down to number 6. And then at number 7, the best team in the SEC, give me Tennessee at number 7. I don't think they have the offense to be a top 5 team in the country, but they do have a great defense and they do win games. And then Big 12 the rest of the way at number 8, give me Kansas, the Jayhawks. That's the number 8 team in the nation. Right behind them, give me a hot, lost last night, not too hot. Give me Baylor at number 9. I made this list before last night's games. Baylor at number 9. And then at number 10, hate to say it, but I can't not say it. Give me Kansas State in the top 10, number 10. That's Purdue at number 1, Bama number 2, Houston number 3, Virginia number 4, Arizona number 5, UCLA number 6, Tennessee 7, Kansas 8, Baylor 9, Kansas State 10. That's the college basketball top 10 according to this guy. I feel like I've given y'all a bountiful amount of information. I'm almost at my word count. Kidding. Moving over to tonight's games. Let me touch on the ones I do not have bets on. First, West Virginia plus 2.5 going against TCU on the road. I want to bet West Virginia so bad, only because of TCU's injuries. They had a couple bad key injuries on Saturday. However, I just don't trust this West Virginia team yet. I said that last week and they won by 14. I'm going to say it again today. And who knows? West Virginia could be a surprise school. Right now, they are in the tournament. Barely. Wake Forest plus 9 taking on Duke. I actually love this bet, but it's a little too fishy. I feel like it should be plus 4 or plus 5. So, I mean, if you like Wake Forest, take them. They're at Cameron Yards taking on Duke tonight. I'm going to stay away. I'm on a pretty rough stretch. Going to keep my betting to a minimum until I feel hot or comfortable again. Virginia Tech and Miami. Love Miami. Virginia Tech is a scary team. I had them in my top 10 very early in the year. I don't know. They go up and down. They're like the roller coaster team of the ACC. Miami at home, lane 4. Or I think Miami's on the road, lane 4. They got to be at home to lane 4, right? Yeah, Miami is at home, lane 4. I don't know. It just screams stay away. I wish this game was like minus 1.5, minus 2 Miami, and then I'd be all over it. Another line that scares me to death, even though I like it, is Clemson. minus 4. Last 2 games, I bet them minus 1.5, minus 2, and they win by 1 every time. Don't know if that trend will keep up. Boston College isn't the strongest of teams. However, that 4 scares the life out of me only because they won by 1 last 2 games that I bet them. minus anything. So, and it's not low enough to take the money line. I don't know. Staying away from those 4 games. The 4 bets that I do have, which all terrify me just as much. Give me Kentucky taking on Old Mississippi Rebels. Give me Tucky, Old Miss, over 135.5. That's the only play both the plays I'm confident in tonight are overs. Franklin Earl has another one coming for you. Give me Tucky, Old Miss, over 135.5. And then Indiana on the road taking on Maryland. Give me Indiana as slight dogs on the money line, plus 123 last I checked. It don't feel right. I've been fading Indiana for decades, it feels like. Somehow now I'm on the bandwagon. It's either the smartest move I've ever made or the dumbest. Give me Indiana tonight. Tracy Jackson Davis. You know that boy balling when I don't call him Tracy Ellis or Ross. Tracy Jackson Davis, he's dropping 30 and 12 tonight. Give me Indiana on the money line. And this line right here, I feel like the whole world's about to take it. How could you not? It'll probably move drastically. This is one I would get on as early as possible, unless I'm wrong. Give me Kansas State plus 7 going into Kansas, taking on the Jayhawks. Kansas, who has struggled to cover a margin all season, winning a plethora of games by less than 5. Also, losing a plethora of games by less than 5. Give me Kansas State to keep the trend going. Plus 7 taking on Kansas. Absolutely love this bet. Didn't even realize it. I got the purple shirt on. Let's go Kansas State. This is one of my favorite shirts, by the way, too. And now, I need somebody, anybody. Hold on real quick. So it's Tucky Ole Miss over 135.5. Indiana money line in Kansas State plus the 7. Now, I need somebody, anybody, to hit me with the horns. Franklin Earl Beard winner time with the best bet of the day. Franklin Earl Beard winner time here, people, with the best bet of the day. My man's over here, Rowan Dives, been going through a little bit of a struggle. We won't say it to his face, so I'm here to throw the life jacket into the water. Give out an automatic winner. Let's knock on some wood here. Over here jinxing the life out of me. Give me UConn. Give me DePaul. Give me this game to go over 145 and the hook. I got this game at 85.76. Scared of the minus 10 in the hook, but I love the over 145 in a hook. Thinks it goes over with about 3 minutes left. No sweat on the bets. That's Franklin Earl Beard Winnington's best bet of the day. UConn DePaul over 145 and a hook. Another wonderful episode. About to hit 50 minutes, people. If you're loving it, if you're liking it, go ahead and like and subscribe the video. Hours and hours and hours of research just to bring you this 50 minutes of entertainment, hopefully, and some insight. I don't know if you're writing down what I'm saying, but the plan, the goal, the vision that I have is that come March, you will have notebooks looking just like this with every team that's in the bracket, and you'll be able to compare, contrast, and update some numbers, of course, because it's halfway through the season right now. Become a better when it comes to the tournament. No more trusting the gut or going with the dogs. Let's actually make some sense out of everything. It's captained by a hook with the Red Beard. Last day of January, which means the madness is almost here. I will see you guys tomorrow on a beautiful Wednesday. I will open up with some golf bets. Then I have my first Super Bowl preview. I will go over the games tonight that I just gave out. And then the MLB National League over-unders will all be tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening. See you on Wednesday. I'm loving every minute of this. Dobbs.